Good evening, I'm Braden Stone. Coming up in the newscast, arrests made in Canada, bombings, and the final countdown to Battle of the Bands.
And I'm Steve Majiri with an update on KU track and field, women's tennis, and I have my shout-out segment. We also have Kyle Ashenfelder with the weather. Newsbreak begins now.
Two men faced bail hearings today after their arrests on charges of plotting a terrorist attack against a Canadian passenger train with support from Al-Qaeda. The two men had directional guidance from Al-Qaeda members in Iran. This is the first known Al-Qaeda planned attack that they have experienced in Canada, Superintendent Doug Best told a news conference. Charges against the men include conspiracy to carry out an attack and murder people in association with the terrorist group. Police said the men are not Canadian citizens and have been in Canada a significant amount of time, but declined to say where they were from or what they were doing in the country. The investigations surrounding the planned attacks were part of a cross-border involving Canadian law enforcement agencies, the FBI, and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Now, in just 3 days, KUR is hosting Battle of the Bands right on the DMZ starting at 6 o'clock. Here's information about the event.
As you gaze across the DMZ here at Kutztown University, some of the most common sights you'll see are students huddled together, walking to and from their dorm halls, and those enjoying leisure time. However, this coming spring, these grassy grounds will resemble that of a mini Woodstock as Kutztown University Radio presents the Battle of the Bands. We sat down with KUR student president Alan Schultz to find out how the idea for this came about.
I was training to be a new DJ here at KUR, and we staged a Battle of the Bands event on the DMZ that year. It was a big success. We had a bunch of bands come out and play. We had a bunch of people come out on the DMZ and see it. It was probably the single most fun thing I've done in my entire 4.5 years here. We got a class from the Electronic Media Department planning to broadcast it live over KU TV. So it's going to have a much, much larger audience. And also we're going to see if we can potentially broadcast it live over the actual radio station. We've got well over 60 people currently enrolled in the club. We've got a huge crew, and they're all working very hard, getting great ideas to get this thing off the ground and make it happen, and it's just going so much better than I could have imagined.
April 26th is sure to be a date that will go down in Kutztown history.
Steve, did you hear that Kanye is rumored to be at the Battle of the Bands?
Really? Who told you that?
You did.
Yes, I was about to, but yeah, apparently he plays rock music now.
He does? He knows how to do music.
That's a reason to go.
All right. We'll be right back after the break.
Oh.
Grab the cheek. And remember, being outside the lines only gets you the scores.
But here between the lines, we get you in the locker room.
We'll do
Don't
that.
take my line.
Do that.
Don't
Nudge
take
me.
it.
Nudge me to remember. Be sure to tune in on Wednesdays and Thursdays at 7 and Fridays at noon. And remember, being outside the lines only gets you the scores.
But here between the lines, we get you in the locker room.
Steve, it was really cold out today, and it's the end of April.
Something's wrong. Whatever happened to global warming, man?
I don't know.
Yeah, we could use some of that.
I guess we could. Yeah. Kyle's going to be warm.
Oh, sorry guys, I fell asleep there because the weather's been so boring lately. It's been so constant. I mean, it cooled down a little bit. I want some warmer weather, and it looks like I'm gonna get it. But first, let's talk about today. We had a high of 57 degrees today. It was a mostly cloudy day, kind of dreary out. But tonight, it'll get a little lower, down to 41, another cloudy night. And the stars definitely are not going to be very visible. So astrologists out there who want to go stargazing, sorry, not tonight. Stay inside or something. Tomorrow we're going to have a high of 73. It's going to heat up a little bit. and we'll have a low of 41 with a partly cloudy day. Let's go to the rest of the week. And like I said, it is going to heat up for the rest of the week. Thank God it's going to heat up. Thursday, it'll be nice and sunny, and we have a high of 61 and a low of 41. Friday, it should be nice weather for Battle of the Bands. A high of 61, it'll be nice and sunny, and we'll have a low of 42 degrees. And it should be a nice time, so get out there and rock your faces off, baby! On Saturday, we have a partly cloudy day with a high of 64 degrees and a low of 48. On Sunday, we're going to have partly cloudy skies again, and it'll be a high of 62 with a low of 41. And Monday, what a great day it's going to be, a nice cloudy day with a high of 59 and a low of 53, sorry about that. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty nice week out. It's going to warm up and then cool off going into next week. So we have some nice weather coming up. It doesn't look like we have any rain coming up, so be prepared to be outside a lot. So back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Kyle. Kutztown University and Schuylkill Valley Middle School have reached an agreement for the education majors as they train for middle-level education certification. They are working in classrooms with Schuylkill Valley teachers, participating in daily planning and volunteering as tutors by the end of the school day. Middle school principal Michael T. Mitchell said that they're here in 6-week segments, and by the end of the time, they teach a class. This partnership not only benefits KU students as they prepare to become teachers, but also provides Schuylkill Valley Middle School with a helping hand for people who are dedicated to middle school education. Steve, I think that's really good for both schools.
Absolutely. Anything for the kids.
Everything for the kids.
Always for the kids.
We'll be back to sports right after this.
Now for some sports, where this past weekend history was made as the men's track and field team participated in the Greyhound Invitational. Senior sprinter Corey Meshaw posted the fastest time in the PSAC this season in the 400-meter hurdles with an NCAA provisional time of 51.99 seconds. Not only was it the senior's best time in the event, it was just 0.99 seconds short of an automatic NCAA qualifying time. Junior Larry Buck also had a career day in the pole vault with a career high of 4.8 meters. Buck's mark was both an NCAA provisional time and is also 7th in KU history. Freshman Richard Gatewood finished 4th in the long jump with an NCAA provisional mark of 6.90 meters. Gatewood's mark was a career high and 9th best in KU history. KU also had 3 top 10 finishers in the 800-meter runs. Matt Devlin came in 2nd with a time of 1.56 seconds, Brad Mayer finished 5th, and Josh Rinker rounded out the trio with a 9th place finish. The Golden Bears will return to action Thursday as they will participate in the Penn Relays held at the University of Pennsylvania. And now to women's tennis, as the Lady Bears wrapped up the PSAC championships by defeating Millersville in the consolation match. In singles, senior Rachel Ogrula earned her career-high 9th victory. Chelsea Davis and Hannah Pipkin also picked up their 9th and 7th wins of the season, respectively. In doubles, Redima Barua and Pipkin each won their 10th win of the season. For Barua, it was her 11th total win of the season, which leads the team. Barua has accumulated 69 total wins in her career in the maroon and gold, 33 of which were in singles, 36 of which were in doubles. The Lady Bears have had a very renowned season, going 8-0 in PSAC play in the regular season and winning their first PSAC championship in school history. However, the Lady Bears are not finished, as they will await the NCAA selections for regionals, which will be announced tonight on ncaa.com. Now for another edition of What Bothers Steve Magiri. What bothers me this week is an absolutely ridiculous lawsuit filed at Chicago Bulls point guard Derrick Rose. For those who either don't watch sports or do, but watch them superficially through the hole in the rock they live under, Derrick Rose has not played this season due to him tearing his anterior cruciate ligament, or ACL, in last year's NBA playoffs. This has caused a lot of pain and suffering to those religious Bulls fans who are witnessing probably the best player they've had since, say, Michael Jordan. But nothing compares to what one fan did this past week. According to hiphop365.com, Bulls fanatic and renowned doofus Matthew Thompson has sued Rose for his overcautious approach to returning to action. Thompson claims Rose missing the entire regular season has caused him to have emotional distress, and he says that this led him to gaining weight and becoming obese. Thompson also claimed that Rose showed negligent behavior towards returning to the court despite being cleared. Now hold the phone. I'm not a doctor or a psychologist, but isn't there another way to alleviate your pain, like maybe getting a life? I'm glad you're passionate about your team, don't get me wrong, but this is beyond aberrant behavior for a sports fan. Also, I have a theory on how to stop gaining weight. It's called putting down the fork. Don't go blaming someone else because you decided to drown your sorrows in a pancake bender of sorts. Despite Rose's absence from the court, the Bulls are currently in the playoffs as a 5 seed, so I don't know what he's complaining about. This is one of the many problems with American sports fans. They become so overzealous that they blame everything bad that happens in their life on their teams. I don't even know what law firm would take such a case. This is one of the most unheard of stories I've ever heard of involving sports and litigation. But that's the beauty of America, a country where we can sue another surfer for taking your wave. I can't even describe how surreal and ludicrous this is. That's it. I've run out of adjectives. I'm done. Consider this a watershed moment in the history of sports and legal proceedings. Now that I've gotten that monkey off my back, it's time for my shout-out segment. This week's shout-out goes to Tianling Guang, a 14-year-old golfer who the other week became the youngest person ever to play in the Masters. I wanted to mention this kid in my shout-out segment last week, but was unable to due to more important matters. Guam was inspired by Tiger Woods winning the Masters in 2005, and this inspired him to pick up the sport. Due to his hard work and him making the cut, Guam got to play a round of golf with his idol in the par 3 challenge of the Masters. People were worried about Guam being able to handle the pressure of playing against players with close to, say, 20 years of experience, but the youngster from China did not disappoint and made the first cut despite getting penalized for slow play. Guam shot a strong 73 on the historically difficult Augusta National Golf Club. What was really impressive was how calm he looked during the whole event. His 73 on the first day was better than 11 Masters champions. It's amazing how this kid is not even old enough to drive or shave, and yet he is able to play one of the more difficult sports out there with the best of them. He is definitely going to turn some heads, and he was one of the biggest stories of the tournament. The youngster held his own, and we may have seen the first coming of the next big thing developing right in front of our eyes.
You know, Steve, I won the Masters once.
Really? And then you woke up?
Exactly.
Knew it. Gotta love those.
Well, that's all we have for you tonight. We'll see you again on Tuesday.
For Braden, Kyle, and the rest of the crew, good night.